Hyphal Strands. You wake up, the black of sleep fading into the scent of mildew and morning light creeping in through the cave entrance. Sunrises in your home outpost are often beautiful, but this one is particularly striking. As you walk out of your cave, the crimson light of the sun casts cyan shadows, all mixed with the greens reflecting off the grass from outside. It all flickers like fire on the rippling wall. You see your friends milling about their grass-roofed houses amidst the early day, late summer air. This area where your people find rest teems with life. Just as the site of the shelter sprawls along the river, the trees extend above. Even an outsider could tell they are ancient by the way they whisper. Sun filters through the branches and god rays. Gentle birdsong can be heard above. Somewhere, someone is playing a tune on panpipes. You listen closely. The song is low and contemplative, but leads into experimental whimsy. You recognize its author like a woodsman would recognize a flower by its petals or an herb by its leaves. It's the one and only Sherman. The Sherman's office is raised on a mound above the others, surrounded by shrubs. You wouldn't see it if you didn't already know it was there, but it's easy to get to. Sherman's sitting on a rock by the team-building fire pit your people gather around each night to make music. He greets you with a wave of a hand telling you to take a seat. Sherman's eyes are shaded by his dire bare hood, the rest of the pelt draped around his sinewy torso. He has a cloth satchel resting around one shoulder. Leaning up against the rock next to him is a walking stick, made bulbous at the top by many warts. He looks disheveled, but not in the way that a person who just woke up should. Frankly, he doesn't look like someone who slept at all. His skin glistens with sweat. His muscles sag like he just ran a very, very long distance. And why he is wearing his hood over his eyes in such fine weather is beyond you. Eventually, he finishes his song, and by the glint of light under his hood, you can tell he is looking at you. Did your music help, you ask? It did a little, but not as much as it usually does. As much as I needed it to. He winces from a pain on his side. Come, there's much work to be done. Do we have to? I just woke up. Life is a story. He launches into another far-reaching metaphor. It does not write itself. We do not have much time. His serious tone brings you out of your "someone please give me some coffee" stupor. What do we have to do? There is a disturbance in the land of dreams. I believe that if it takes its course, we could lose our connection to the plane permanently. The sun goes behind a cloud, and you suddenly realize how pleasant its warmth was. Ominous thoughts so early in the morning. We need to enter the world of dreams. You need to find the disturbance and heal it. I will take you as far as I can. Come with me into my office. He stoops into his hut and motions you to follow. Going down some steps, you find that there's some serious mood lighting going on inside. The shades are drawn, but there's a lit hearth in the center. There are a couple of beds around the hearth, angled out in a spiraling pattern. Ingredients and knickknacks are piled up on shelves on the circular, heavy stone walls. Clothes are hung up on one corner. You sleep here? Where did you think I slept, kid? In the bushes? He smiles wryly. You call this your office? Indeed. Pick a bet. You and I are going to take a little nap. Wait, you're going to make me a dream strider? Things are starting to click, but you've only heard of the dream striders in legend before. It is said that they dreamed true dreams. For a time, while they slept, they could enter the afterlife. Men and women who danced with gods and wild beasts under the stars. They could move the heavens with their songs. Most of what you know is from stories from your parents told you to get you to go to bed. You've already strode in dreams. Everyone does it, even the city folk, to a degree. Some just do it better than others. Some go to the place where I am going to take you. Those people are called dream striders. But try not to think of it as an exclusive practice. You sit down on a bed. He sits down on one opposite you. Sherman reaches into his bag and hands you a mushroom. You need the secret ingredient for it to make it work. Eat the whole thing and chew it thoroughly. Doing as he says, you feel your heart beating against your ribcage. You've eaten many mushrooms in your life before, but this is special. Your entire life has led up to this moment. Resting your head on the pillow, you see the domed ceiling ripple like ocean waves. In the shine of the ripples, the reds of the fire increase in saturation, then splitting into golds and magentas. Blue filters in through the door and joins in the dance. Some of the colors get mossy and fuzz off the ceiling, but new ones keep getting added. You feel the warmth of the fire and the cool of the morning. You feel the wilderness breathe. Smell the ozone mix with the must of the hut. Your own breathing fades away, and its sound is replaced with a sigh of the trees overhead. The bed starts to get fuzzy, and the colors start to meld together, getting darker and darker until everything is black, and you get very sleepy. You wake to the scent of another wind, in a wood you have never been before, but it reminds you of home. It is like when you met one of your father's brothers, and you saw all of those familiar traits. Things you thought made home are stronger here. It was humid the morning you left. Here, mist creeps in through the trees, but it is still morning, you think. Standing up, you find that you are at the side of a three-way fork in a dirt path, winding out of sight in all directions. Sherman comes into view, moving down the path on your right, leaning heavily on his staff. He stoops by to pick some red mushrooms with white bumps on them. Amantia muscaria, he says, putting them into his bag. A classic. You can never have too many of those. Here, we need to go this way. He points across to you, to the branch in the fork opposite him. You probably have many questions. You nod absently, looking up at the stars still visible in the part of the sky that is farthest from the sun. You don't recognize any of the constellations. The world of dreams is not necessarily a place we make up while we sleep. Not all dreamers end up here. Rather, it is a place we sleep towards. It represents thoughts and ideals ever present in the universe that have coalesced into something with substance. A place we can visit, take trips to. What thoughts? What ideals? I don't know all of them, but I do know it is a place of nature, beyond our home on the material plane. The land has become broken up by cities and their roads, scarred by mines, trees leveled to make room for farmers' fields. You do not find such places here. Indeed.